This is by far one of my favorite quality of life upgrades I've ever hacked together with my van. I just press this button right here. And I don't want to spoil at the start of this video how well it works, but it is incredible. And with great power comes great responsibility. So if you plan to do this mod, please use it responsibly. Let's roll the video.
This video is sponsored by Squarespace. I'll tell you more about how I use Squarespace later in this video.
In this video, we're gonna make some illegal upgrades to the toilet of my Sprinter van. Let's do it. Let's get straight to it. What's the problem? We have a separating toilet. That part is great. It means there's no smell in the van, no sewage to deal with, because when liquid and solids mix, that's what creates sewage. So this is the bucket that our toilet separates the urine into. Now, the emptying of this urine compartment is my least favorite part about the toilet owning experience. It is just, it's not great. The way you get it from the manufacturer, this strap is strapped across. So what do you think happens when you accidentally pour the liquids out? Guess what? It gets all over the handle. It's really gross. I think I should remember every time to hold the handle back. I don't. I've replaced it several times. I do not like it, so I have it mounted to one side, so that way it's easy to just hold it and pour. But still, because they made this compartment so opaque, it is very challenging in a dark van at nighttime to see if it is getting full. So without question, because we don't empty it every single day, I almost always forget to empty it to the point where it's filled right up to the brim. Sometimes it overflows into the composting side, and then we've got sewage, which is just miserable to deal with. But then other times when it's filled right up to here and you're trying to move around a bucket that's got urine filled up to the top, it's not very fun.
Last night we accidentally overfilled the urine again, which sucks because I can't just remove that bottle because pee is gonna get everywhere. And it's spilling over into the composting section, which means I have to replace the composting inside because now the composting is ruined. Yay.
So I'm getting lazy. I'm gonna fix it. I ordered some of these parts for fuel tapping, tank moving accessories. These are fuel pumps. This is the fuel tank tap. And we're going to try to create a pump system to empty the urine bucket from our van whenever we want, on demand, without actually having to take it out of the van. I think I'd prefer to do this with a new tank, but this is the tank I have and we will make it work. This is going to be very, very annoying to pull out, to try fish it out of the bottom of this tank, just because of the shape of everything. It's too long to do a turn inside, so I got to go butt end first, down in there. This is my third attempt here. I did not think this part would be the hard part. Okay, pull the hose through. Come on, come on, come on, come on, come on. No, yeah, yes, okay. Okay, that's progress. That is progress for sure. We've got the spigot. You can clean these tanks with vinegar. One of the main things about urine tanks is the calcium buildup. And I did wonder if these pumps are going to be strong enough to pump through some of the calcium buildup that will happen in this tank inevitably. And I don't know the answer to that question, which is why I bought two, kind of one as a spare. If anybody who knows anything about fuel pumps on like a motorbike, does the pump exist in line before a filter or after a filter? Like, is the fuel that the pump is pumping filtered first, or is it filtered after the pump? Because I just have this hunch that these pumps should be able to move urine adequately, even if there is some buildup of sediment. And of course, if you have enough water with you, you could always do like a flush out of the tank every time you want it emptied. This is good. Okay, so we've got our rubber O-ring, we've got our washer. Now we just need the nut. And it looks like we've got ourselves a urine pickup spigot. urine pickup spigot. Which direction do we want this to go? We now have a place to tap off our line to get liquid out of here. Let's go do a dry fit in the toilet. Okay, Janelle, look at the little spigot. That's the pickup.
Whoa.
So now I've just got to see if this fits down on the toilet, and then we attach lines and test the pump. Okay, here is lay toilet. Would you look at that? It almost looks like an aftermarket accessory. I'm the guy who looks after the toilet, but is this going to change our experience?
Yes.
Yes.
Yes, it will definitely change.
It's the small things, people. It's the small things. You just buy a bunch of random parts on Amazon, not quite sure how it's going to come together, but I'm feeling good. Okay, filling up the tank with some water. Now I know water isn't the same color as human liquid, but notice how difficult it is to see at what level the water currently is in the tank. It's light out and I can't see. The tank is almost 3/4 of the way full, and I would not be able to tell just by looking at it in here. I'm gonna attach some quick disconnects. Let's get this going. The switch. Should I take the barrel connector off this guy, or is that too sketchy? Okay. Blub, 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 blub. That's kind of a fun sound. Okay, let's just run it and see if it self-primes. Come on. Let's go! Look at that! We got a stream of liquid. It pumps.
It pumps.
To recap where we're at, our liquid pickup comes out of the tank, attaches to a hose, comes down. We will attach an outlet line here. This is kind of exciting. Let's start getting this stuff mounted up.
Before we finish the install and I show you how well this system works, I want to tell you briefly about the sponsor of this video, and that is Squarespace. Now, I've been utilizing Squarespace for years, long before they became a sponsor in this channel, and the reason for this is that they are an incredibly simple way to build a beautiful website. They're an all-in-one website building and managing tool. They just make the whole process effortless. And some of my favorite features are that each design that you pick from automatically looks amazing on any device that you look at it every time. Their drag and drop block system in the visual editor makes it really easy to see how the changes are going to impact the way your website looks. It also makes it really easy to update things. So if I have a new video I want to show off on my production company website, it's really easy to do that. And that means I don't fall behind in showcasing my best work. Another thing they make less complicated is that you can register your domain directly through them. This means that you can skip the extra steps of using multiple services just to get a website up and running. Many viewers of the channel have had fantastic experiences, and you can join them by just setting up a trial and building a website. Use the tools, see what you think. And then if you're ready to commit, you can use my code for 10% off your first purchase of a website or domain.
Wow, I've made a really good mess. So I'm gonna head to Canadian Tire real quick and try to pick up some cable management accessory bits. That way we can do an officially clean install and maybe do some other quick things on the van before we head out of the town. This might be the smallest and cutest Canadian Tire I've ever been to in my life. Okay, back in the van. We got some clamps to mount the hosing and a drill bit to put a hole in the wall so that way we can route the hosing. Right now what happens as this closes, it just kind of accordions closed there and gets pinched behind. So we are just gonna route this alongside it, mount the pump up in there, drill a hole through the wall, come down through this little secret cubby here, through the floor, and then put the hose down here through the hole in the floor. This hose goes through a hole right there in the floor, and that comes all the way back up to this outlet of the toilet. That hosing outlet system is what takes the air out of our toilet and puts it outside the van.
making it virtually smellless. We actually cannot smell the solids compartment of the toilet at all. And the ladies are up here cheering me on. Thanks, ladies.
We are so excited.
Thanks.
Amber, cheer daddy on.
Can you be my social proof for the fact that the toilet does not smell? Because I feel like just me saying that isn't enough.
Yeah, it doesn't. It sits like in the middle of our kitchen, living room, office, bedroom. And I don't think we could deal with that if it was actually smelling, so.
Okay, it is all rigged up and it's working flawlessly. Let's show you what's going on here. We've got the pump mounted up there in the corner. The hose comes along right down the side into the tank. And then when this goes in like that, comes down through here through this adjustable gasket I made out of an old bike tube that clamps onto there so that way no critters can get in. And I did spill a little bit of water around here, but this is gonna work great. Let's turn the pump on and go look at where the water's coming out underneath the van. This is sweet. That's the sound of the pump running. It's a lot louder when there's no water going through it. And then down here under the van, check that out. The perfect little spout location. That is so awesome. Woo! That feels so rewarding to have that working and running and coming out the bottom of the van. Okay, the next project I want to tackle while we're working at the van here is getting a flow meter installed. This is just kind of a generic one available on Amazon, but essentially it's just like a little motor or fan that as water flows past it, it can measure with a control unit like this. And it also came with a solenoid activated shutoff valve, but the build quality of this, I don't know, I don't really trust the build quality of this. This seems more reasonable to use because if it breaks, the water will just keep flowing through it, hopefully, and I won't end up with a water system that won't flow water. I'm now gonna cut the water lines of my van apart and use these shark bite fittings to hopefully just quick pressure fit, connect this back in. I don't like the idea of cutting apart a water system that's working, but it would be very, very helpful to know when we are almost out of water because it's very hard to tell with the opaque wall of the tank how far in we are. So let's cut some stuff apart. Let's go. We are getting a measurement. Okay, I want to close off with some thoughts about the water flow stuff, some upgrades that we did with this, and also talk to you about how the piss pump is working, our piss transfer pump, and just some of the usability concerns that maybe some people might have from the outside of how I might now abuse my newfound power of this really fun upgrade. So first, one of the issues that I ran into was the inside diameter of the fuel pickup spout was seemed to be the perfect size for a calcium buildup, and I actually got clogged several times in the first months of using it, which was frustrating. So that inner diameter is just a little bit too small. What I ended up doing was keeping most of the fuel standpipe to do the through hole port on the urine tank itself, but drilling out the center so that way I could have the full fuel hose with that larger inner diameter go all the way down into the bottom of the tank and just pick up from there directly. I then sealed the whole thing with some marine grade epoxy, and now the flow rate I can get from this transfer pump is ridiculous. So I have to dial it back with a light dimmer switch thing so that way it doesn't just like go like a fire hose. Now I know some people are going to have some justifiable concerns about the power that comes with being able to press a button and dump urine on the road. That is a thing I can do. So I guess just trust that I'll use it responsibly, and if you follow this, use it responsibly as well. I mean, the bucket itself I've been emptying for years without anybody complaining about how or where I chose to dump it. So if we're gonna do this mod, we gotta use it responsibly. One of my tricks is using this specific oil jug to do a transfer in urban areas. So if I wanted to use the toilet how it was originally intended by taking that bucket and go dumping it somewhere, what I can do is I can put this under the van, and because it has this little spout, the hose fits perfectly inside, so I can still transfer urine out of my toilet without even needing to like lift the bucket out or any of that. So gone are the days where I have to fumble with this tank and open the toilet and do that, except for, you know, when we do our seasonal cleaning with some vinegar and stuff at the end of each season. And then my other upgrade that I'm really psyched about is the water flow gauge. That has been really helpful to know how much water we have left. We've just been winging it. My friend Jason from the Everlanders did a custom Arduino water flow gauge that he can see with his phone, so that's pretty cool. I just wanted a stationary one without using my phone, so I did this. But Jason's who I got the idea. I didn't even know water flow meters were a thing until I found out this existed. So we ran all the cabling from here in the electrical cabinet down to the back corner where the pump was. So I had to make a custom cable to do that. But now most of the time it just sits right there on the panel. I just open it to see where we're at. We also now have temperature gauges, which we've never had before. This is just like, I think it's meant for a house, but there's now 4 temperature gauges in different areas of the van. Especially in the winter, this has been really fun. So that's it for this video. Thank you so much to our channel members who help make our videos possible. It's really rad that you support what we do, especially our producing members. Special thank you to you. That's gonna be it for this one. Thanks so much for watching, and remember, life's better when you make stuff. Peace!